Today on the Out There show, we'll be talking about UFOs and USOs.
For all the folks out there, UFO is unidentified flying object and USO is unidentified submerged object.
We'll also talk about if they are real or they're fake.
And if so, whether they're aliens or is it humans with secret technology. And after our discussion, we'll be watching clips of the current sightings that are out there and get our reactions to it live.
So here we go. We're off to UFOs and USOs. So here we go. Let's talk about UFOs and USOs.
So, do you believe aliens visited Earth?
Yes, I do. I do. I don't just believe that they visited Earth. They probably are still here on Earth, probably submerged underwater somewhere as a USO, or in space somewhere, or probably posted on the moon base somewhere, as a UFO. So what about you, Jay? Do you believe aliens visited Earth?
I'm on the fence. I think there's weird things going on, but I don't know if it's aliens visiting Earth or if it's just secret technology that we have. So I think, not sure. I think there's good evidence for it being secret technology that we have. So I lean that direction, but I don't know.
If they are aliens, where would you think they come from?
So if it is aliens, that's a good one. Like, where do they come from? I'd say most likely a nearby star. If they come from anywhere, I'd say we should look at our closest stars. And I think we're not that good at determining what all planets or asteroids or any object that might be orbiting those stars that life could live on. We're not 100% detecting the smaller ones. So I think that, look at our closest stars.
Okay. So let's say UFOs do come from aliens and they come from another planet or another solar system than ours. How do you think that they travel here?
I think that's a tough one. That's part of the thing that makes it difficult for me to think that they are. But I think if it is, I think one of the ways they could travel could potentially be some form of light propulsion, where they're able to use lasers to, get their ships going at a speed, and then the ship, gets up to a significant proportion of the speed of light. And that's why I would say look at the nearer stars, because I think you're going to be limited, I think, by light speed potentially. And at that point, even our nearest stars are, 5 light years away, 10 light years away. And if you're going half the speed of light, you're still looking at 10, 20-year journey, things like that. I think they are looking at longer journeys.
So you telling me if they could actually travel here, they have to be traveling way faster than the speed of light, or use some type of wormhole or a time travel device to get here quicker than the time able that we would use to get from A to B?
I would just say by current Einsteinian physics, you can't supersede the speed of light. So either that physics is wrong, which there's other candidates that are out there that people are pursuing, which are electromagnetic theories and things like that. But according to current physics, no, you can't go past the speed of light. And so I think that's why we need to look at more nearby stars, and we would have to look at them going on voyages, not just going, coming down here like they're going down the block. They're going on major voyages to get here.
If they are aliens, why are they here?
That's a good question. I think it would have to boil down to curiosity. Would be the main one, because if they're aliens from outside of our solar system, it takes less energy for them to find, materials in solar systems that are probably closer to them that are uninhabited. For them to come all the way here to Earth, which is inhabited, I would say that it would be curiosity or scientific experimentation, or potentially, there's some other reason, but yeah, I'd say curiosity would be the main.
Okay, if they got here, what would you think they want? What would you think their demands would be after they arrive here on our planet?
That's a good one. So maybe they don't have demands. And if they don't have demands, that's why maybe they'd be visiting and haven't made any demands thus far. And if curiosity is their reason for showing up, they're not going to have any demands for you. They're really just going to try to keep it as low key as they can while they do whatever they do to satisfy their curiosity.
What would you think aliens being here on Earth, planet Earth, being around humans, what do you think their ultimate goal would be?
Probably understanding. I mean, if they're here and they're curious, they would probably want to understand whatever it is they can, a similar way that we maybe study animals or bugs or whatnot.
If you heard about aliens, how many aliens you think that are out there? What type of aliens are out there that you know about or you heard about?
I've heard about, watching movies, as we all have, watching movies, and I've heard about a lot of different type of aliens. The Greys, the reptilians, the aliens that look like humans, right? But are maybe larger or more athletic. I've heard about, aliens that look like octopuses, right?
Hey, do you think us as a humans, are we related in any way to alien species? Like, are they part of our species, or we're just singular and they're singular? What do you think?
That's a good question, and I sometimes wonder, would it all boil down to a degree, right? If there's some basic bacteria that's floating out in space and it's seeding life on all planets, well, then all planets are going to have a basic connection, that they're all coming from the basic chemistry of this initial organism, right?
Okay, say the aliens come here, right? And they start mingling with humans. What do you think the aliens eat?
Yeah, I mean, that's a question of their body plan and things like that. I think definitely, though, if they're based off the same chemistry we are, then you would have to assume that they would need carbohydrates and proteins, just like we do. So you could pretty much assume that their diet would be similar to the diet of some animal that already exists, probably on Earth. So I don't know what it would be, but maybe they're carnivorous, maybe they're herbivores, but ultimately I think that you would find that they'd be able to refine sugars, proteins out of material here if they're based on that type of hydrocarbon life,
If they are aliens and they come here, how advanced you think they would be, and how advanced you would think they would make our society?
Well, I think we're to a level where we can almost reach another star. If their technology is based off the same science that we use, they don't necessarily have to be that much more advanced than us. If their technology is based off of some other science that's more accurate to reality than our science, and there's something we're missing, then their technology could seem extremely advanced. It's just that we're missing something basic that they know, right? So I think it just depends. Maybe their technology is like ours, but 1,000 years more advanced. Maybe their technology is barely more advanced than ours, but like ours. Or maybe their technology is based off of science that we haven't discovered yet, or we haven't reached that type of understanding.
Well, if the aliens do come here, what type of way you would think you would be able to communicate with the aliens? Like, what do you think we should use to communicate with these aliens if they do come here?
Well, outside of aliens communicating with each other via some form of telepathy, I think that they would have to have some visual form of communication or an audible form of communication. So we would probably want to start with some form of sounds and some form of visual, either lights or colors or some other form of physical visual communication.
If the aliens did come and they started to communicate, they found communication, and they say, would people be scared of the weapons that the aliens would bring or make while they were on this planet?
Yeah, I think it depends on if the weapons are based off the same similar science that we use, or if they're based off a different science. If it's based off a different science, I mean, the weapon could look strange and have a strange effect that we're not used to, which would probably be very terrifying to most people. Yeah.
What about if they land and they have alien ships? Do you think people would be adapting to drive these alien ships or travel around in these alien ships when they become familiar or closer to the aliens themselves?
Depends on the alien's physiology. I mean, if they're far different from us, we may never be able to fly their particular ships. We might be able to back engineer their technology and put it into a vehicle that has some control mechanisms that we could utilize. But like if the alien is the shape of a squid, you might not be able to reach all the controls, right? If the alien somehow has a similar physiology to us, then potentially, yeah, we could probably fly their ships. But I doubt it, honestly.
What do you think about if the aliens are here and their brain or capacity is higher than us, and they have a level of mind control, and they can actually mind control people around them to think, feel, and do what they wanted them to do?
That honestly wouldn't surprise me, because I know people who can do that. I know people who have a very powerful influence and effect on people around them. And it's hard to explain or really put into words. But so I think it's something possible to do to a person.
Like hypnosis?
Just have some kind of influence that everybody feels it and no one can explain it, for sure.
What do you think about shape-shifting? If the aliens are here already and they have shape-shifted their bodies to look like humans like you and I, and they're walking around and nobody knows who they are?
You know, again, I mean, I think that's one of those ones that would depend on their level of technology. I know that right now there's makeup artists with prosthetics that could, you know, if you use the same makeup artists that they use in movies, they can make you up with some prosthetics that no one could tell that that's not really you. And they do it all the time in some reality shows. They trick people, they'll record people's reaction to it. So I think in the level of, if you look at an octopus, it can shapeshift to match its environment. So I mean, if the alien's physiology is that of a shape-shifting thing, well, that'd be amazing. Otherwise, there's plenty of prosthetics and things. So, I mean, it's not anything that's on face value impossible, right?
What do you think about multi-dimensional beings? You know, like some ghostly, you know, that can jump in and out of time and reality, you know?
I think those are more far-fetched. I think aliens from another planet, even a far planet, is more within the realm of, on face value, not being impossible, because we know other planets exist. We can't deny that our technology is far superior than it was 100 years ago, and it's getting more advanced every day. So I think those are real facts. Yes, there could be a race. We're a race. We live on a planet. There could be a race on a planet that has technology. These are things that's happened before in the universe that we have documented because we're doing it. But multidimensional, we have not documented that. And we haven't accomplished it ourselves. And we have no particular evidence that that's something possible. So for the multidimensional thing, I say, we can only work in the realm of dimensions that we've discovered. If other dimensions have been discovered, it's not something that's known about in the same way as, you know, another planet being known about.
What about abductions? You know, they have a lot of things out there, a lot of people out there that say they've been abducted and they've been under hypnosis and they've been able to come back and account what happened when they were abducted. What do you think about that?
That's a tough one, because if you're saying there's aliens, then certainly they might abduct people.
What do you say about the implants that doctors have found after these people that have said they were abducted by aliens? They have found implants in them in certain places that they said that were of alien type of metal that was unknown to this world.
Again, if they're curious, if it's a science experiment, we go tag animals. I mean, on the face of it, it's not a far-fetched concept.
What do you think about crop circles?
Crop circles, I think on the face of it, when I really look at the whole idea behind it, I think that's one of the more far-fetched ones, because if the aliens were doing it to communicate with us, there's a lot more. That means that they're deciding that they want to let us know they're there. They could just make the crop circle in front of everybody and they'd know an alien did it. So I don't think that they're going to attempt to communicate through crop circles. I think they would attempt to just directly communicate, and they would let you see the ship if that's the level that they want to be on with you. So I don't think that they're trying to communicate with us, or else we would definitely see them. They'd be right there floating around. They wouldn't hide. If they're hiding, I don't think they're trying to communicate with the crop circle. So that's a little more far-fetched. I think that's people trying to get attention.
What about cow mutilations?
Cow mutilations, I think, if they're here experimenting, who knows what mutilations they're doing. If they're doing cow mutilations, then we should be happy we're not finding human mutilations, because what are they trying to do with that? I don't know. It's kind of far-fetched. There's a lot of different options for what could be mutilating a cow, and more commonly it's probably some type of animal predator or someone who doesn't like that farmer. They're seeking to get revenge. They mutilate their cow. They don't want to get blamed for it, so they say, hey, it was whatever happened.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
So I think there could be some of that.
What about cover-ups? Like when something happens, somebody makes a report and two guys come out dressed in black and they said they're men in black, and they try to make a cover-up of what happened and say it was something else other than what the people had said it was.
Well, I think that if these UFOs and USOs are aliens, the government wouldn't spend a lot of money trying to cover it up, because they have nothing to hide, right? And who's going to believe you about aliens anyway? They don't need to cover that up. That's like something that's going to be hard for you to prove anyway. So I don't think if it's aliens that we have to worry about cover-ups, honestly.
What do you think about Area 51 and all the reports that they have about Area 51?
Well, I think...
What do you think they house there?
That's a tough one. It's a known thing that the military has secret bases, secret weapons, secret technology. They had the stealth fighter for over 20 years before they let people know about it in 1996. People saw flights of the stealth fighter, thought it was an alien ship. So I think that it's hard to parse out and say, is the government hiding something because they're legitimately hiding the things that they legitimately let you know that they're hiding? Or are they hiding something because it's an alien thing, right? They hid the Manhattan Project when they developed the nuclear weapon. You didn't know about the nuclear weapon until they were ready to let you know about it. They have legitimate secrets. I don't know if you want to call them legitimate secrets, but legitimate in the sense that they've already told you, we develop things that we hide from you. They've let you know several times with the nuclear weapons, with the bombers. So that's the tough part. I don't know if there are aliens though. Clearly, the government may be collecting whatever evidence that they can, even if it's just photos and other things. And so maybe they have an office where they house that stuff. Is it Area 51? I don't know.
What do you think about the Egyptians? Do you think that King Tut or his family members along had ran into some aliens and they passed down a dagger sword that was made of an alien metal, not of this planet Earth?
You know, I think that there could be some kind of, so if we're saying that aliens have more advanced technology than us, and if you're saying that the aliens are coming here, then it would make sense that they would have been coming here for a while.
Right.
So if they're coming here and whatnot, maybe there's many connections to ancient civilizations, and maybe they had different rules of engagement. You know, maybe there was a time where they said, hey, it's okay to engage with people in this way because they're at this level of technology. Maybe they said, hey, once people reach this level of technology, we can't engage with them that way anymore. So maybe they're so not too far-fetched. If there's aliens, I mean, that's not a far-fetched connection to make.
Where's the first time you heard about aliens?
The first time I heard about aliens, I think I was about 8 years old, and somebody was talking about somebody had an alien experience, and we went out trying to look for aliens. Somebody had seen an alien ship, and we ran out trying to see one, and I never saw one.
Oh, okay. So have you met with someone at any time that had any contact with aliens, or that told you any story about seeing the spaceship or anything like that?
Yeah, I have family members that have claimed to have seen spaceships at night in the sky, shooting across the sky, XYZ. I've seen potentially weird things that could have been comet, shooting star, whatever, in the distance in the sky. I have seen stuff because I am a sky watcher.
Mm-hmm.
So, especially as a kid, being out there in Indiana, open skies.
Open skies.
But you never know. Is it an airplane? Is it something falling? Is it a satellite? Is it a comet? Is it whatever it is? It just streaks across the sky, right?
Is it a weather balloon? What is it?
All right, Kabir. So, let me ask you about aliens. Why are they here?
Why I think aliens here, I think like any other advanced culture, they want to study another culture. You know what I'm saying? Also not just study another culture, but if they're advanced to know about stuff in the future and how things go, they want to actually, see that culture go on in a good way. You know what I'm saying? Not a destructive way, but in a actually good rising way, so they can protect and have a planet that's good, and so they can always visit the planet. Because these resources, I don't think we just use the resources. I think if they are aliens, they come here and use our resources as well. They may use our oceans. They may use some of our elements in our ground, like the oil or the pewter or the gold, the copper, the nickel. You know what I'm saying? We don't know what they use to fly their ships home. We don't know what technology they have, So I would say, yes, in that term.
So what do they want?
What do they want? I think they want like any probably superior race would want that's out there, but they probably are very more peaceful than our race, because I think if they had the technology that we think they have and they weren't as peaceful as I think they are, that we would have been destroyed a long time ago. We would have been took over a long time ago. You know what I'm saying? They would have came and just took our elements if they were that type of bully type of race of people. So I think if you had that technology, you know what I'm saying, if you had a certain mentality, you would use it in a certain way.
Okay. So what type of aliens are out there, man? What do you think?
I think there's all type of aliens out there. I think that you have tall aliens, you have short aliens, you know what I'm saying? Some that fly little ships, some fly big ships, Some are the masters and some are the worker bees, that fly out the little ships and do all what worker bees do. But in all, I think there's multiple type of aliens out there. There may be a reptilian type that are gray. There may be shapeshifter. There may be white ones, black ones, big-eyed ones, small-eyed ones, We have multiple races of people already on this planet. People already on this planet are amazing. They have amazing skills. You know, some people on this planet you would call superheroes. They have superpowers, or they're alien into the race of people or their family that's around them, because they can do amazing things. So, you know, if I can see that diversity right here on this planet, got to be a lot of more diversity out there in the universe.
So let me ask you this: are we related to them?
I think in some way we all are related, because I think the whole universe is related in some way. It all has energy. It all has magnetic fields. It all has cumulus structures. It all has a certain amount of gravity in it and a certain amount of elements that rotate on every hemisphere. So I feel like in one sentence, in one way, that it's all one of one strain from everything came multiple strains. Just like you taking a cell and you slicing it in half and it become two nucleuses with two brains and two outer cell walls, right, instead of having one.
It's true.
You know?
So, what do they eat?
You know, well, I think different type of aliens may eat different things. You know, they may eat the glandular secretions of humans. Some aliens may eat a vegetarian meal. Some aliens may eat monatomics, like monatomic gold. You know what I'm saying? You know, I think every alien or different species have their different type of food from their planet or they different race that sustains them.
So what kind of alien weapons do you think are all out there?
You know, some of the alien weapons they have found, you know, they found some pieces that you can put on your head, that you can control any electric device around you. So I think they're re-engineering them things for humans to use, like right now. I seen it on TED Talk. So they have lasers, they have a annihilator device, a taser device, a cutting device, a device that rotates things and lifts things up, like a levitating device as well. You know, and a Parrish device, a device I think that takes you into another dimension. You know, a dimension that they know of, that's the other dimension, but not a dimension that we know of man and humankind.
So what kind of ships do you think they have?
Well, in order to even be here, if they are flying from a different planet or a different cosmos into our galaxy and still come to our planet, they would have to have an amazing ship to do all that.
Let me ask you this. Do you think that people are being abducted by aliens?
I think there's enough stories out there that if you count the stories and count the people and you look at the hypnosis, how they brought them back and they counted their stories, and their stories were the same of other people's stories that were around the world, not even in that place. I think there's some truth in that. Has to be some truth in that. I don't know how truth it is, how far the truth runs, or it could be a fictional film. It can be something that somebody made up, and a lot of people jumped on the bandwagon, you know. But I see there's so many people saying it, there's some truth in it.
If they were abducting people, what for? What's the purpose?
I think like any other mad scientist or somebody that would take, you know, a human being or an animal or any other subject. They want to try something on that subject. They want to see if it works on that subject. And if it works on this subject, maybe it can work on all of mankind and all people. So maybe that, you know, they're grabbing us to see how our body works and our human DNA and either how to help us or how to hurt us. I have no idea.
Okay. So, what's your thoughts on crop circles?
Well, I think crop circles are like visions. I think they're ways of communication. I think that whatever we put out into the universe, we're on a spinning planet, so it's going to come back to us. So I think we sent out signals, and we sent out DNA signals, some type of Morse code, and I think aliens actually, whatever type of extraterrestrial they are, you know, one thing that is universal is mathematics. So if they can follow the mathematical equations and we can follow those mathematical equations, we can communicate with each other. And I think some of those crop circles are mathematical equations and their levels of communication. And I think that we need to get together as a world and read these communications and use these communications to communicate back with them and see how we can help mankind.
So, do you think cow mutilations have anything to do with aliens?
I think all type of ways that other aliens and other extraterrestrials out there deem be to grab certain subjects or grab certain animals and use them for some type of operation, you know, that's, you know, that could be a part of them part of their study. I don't think that may be some of the same grays that you see. You know, there may be another alien race that doesn't, you know, take lightly to certain animals like that, and they want to viciously, you know, cut them up instead of letting them go after they operate.
So tell me, what do you think about Area 51?
Well, I think Area 51 is just like any other government facility, a facility made to house government things, you know, that they're probably working on or developing for the government, you know, and they may be developing bombs, arms, you know, all type of different technology, you know, to help to ensure the government has an upper hand on all the other governments, I guess, in the world. And they may have other technology there, like, you know, reverse technology from ships that they done found, you know, to make their technology a little bit better than everybody else's technology. Now, I've heard some stories about this guy named Phil Snyder. They used to work at Area 51, and he said he encountered aliens at one time. He was a worker for the government, and he used to use a machine that deflagrated metal, that deflagrated earth and made tunnels. And as he was creating these tunnels, you know, his machine kept on coming up broke, the bits of his machine. So he went down there to see what was going on. He was in a suit and he had some green berets and camped in the facility, which were never encamped before. He goes down there between me and this camera. He said he encountered 13-foot tall aliens. And he said he shot it out with some of the aliens. He killed 2 of the aliens, and one of them shot him with some type of blue beam from his chest and burned his chest open and burned his fingers and his feet and singed him. And then some troops came down in the other elevator and they helped him up into the elevator and pushed the elevator up while they continued the battle with the aliens. It was called the battle at Dose.
So, you know you're saying there's a lot of kind of eyewitness reports that place aliens at Area 51 that you think are pretty credible.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the Egyptian connection. Do you think there's a connection with ancient Egypt and aliens?
Well, I think it's a big connection with ancient Egypt and aliens, because as you can see, they build very masterful things unto the world. You know, they on their hieroglyphics, you see spaceships. You hear quotations of different kings that met up with different beings. You know, some of their quotations and their looks of some of their pharaohs that were different colors. Some of their blue. You know, they're not like any other pharaoh's colors. And they say they came down and it's from the heavens, so they paint them in blue to represent the heavens. And they say that they had a pharaoh that was a pharaoh at one time, and it was the tomb of the visitors, and he was a pharaoh that was a alien gray. So I think that there's a lot of connections. Also, you see Tutankhamun, the boy king, they found him and all his gold, and they found one of his daggers, one of his swords. And one of his swords was made with an alien metal that was not of this world, that was not seen or not heard of or not discovered or not even known to be on this planet. It's more like us, made out of a meteor. So I think there's a lot of connections with the best of technology, wisdom, understanding, the building technology, everything, mathematics. I think, we have to get it from somewhere. There has to be, a PowerPoint somewhere. It doesn't just come like people in the middle of the desert, just boof. They start learning knowledge and they start building things onto man, great to man out of the blue. And it had to be some type of guiding light, somebody that came and gave them some type of good information, and they used that good information to build a great nation.
Okay. So when is the first time that you heard about aliens?
First time I heard about aliens is I was young, and I was looking at the sky, and I seen a shooting star, and somebody described to me, oh, that was a UFO. Now, I didn't know what a UFO was at the time. I knew about is I look up in the sky, you wish upon a star, a shooting star, and your wish would come true. That's all I knew about shooting stars. I didn't know about nothing about a UFO. But then I started researching, what's a UFO? What's an unidentified flying object? And then you get into sci-fi. You get into all the sci-fi movies that talk about it. And then you get into all the sci-fi magazines that used to talk about the future and aliens and the ships that used to come. It's just all based on, the information that was there.
Got it. So basically, like, somebody told you about it as a kid and you went wild from there and found everything you could.
Yeah.
So have you met someone who says that they've been in contact with aliens in some type of way?
Yes, I have. I have met someone. I had met an older gentleman, and he was telling me when he was a young kid, he used to be out there in the swamps. I think it was, Florida, down there in Florida, down the swamps. And they said they had a house near the swamps. And they said at nighttime, the sky gets real clear, you know what I'm saying? And they have a road, only one road that goes to their house. Like, this is the main road on the street, and if you go off the main road, there's a wooded road. And this wooded road, there's only one wooded road that goes to their house. So it goes about a mile in, and it opens up to a big old square of bushes, and then they have a lake right there, a swamp. So he said he was out there hanging out, you know what I'm saying, at nighttime, chilling out on the porch, and he seen a big old light coming across the field. Now, it started hit the swamp, and it started its way up the swamp, and it was moving so quick, he didn't think it was any ship or anything like that, because it changed directions a couple of times. It didn't just go one way, it came in this way, turned this way, and then started heading up the river. And then when it got to the clearing where he was at, it shined a light down. And when it shined a big light down, he was scared. He ran into the house. Everybody was scared, running and stuff, because they didn't know what it was. They didn't know if it was a helicopter. The government's coming. The FBI is going to jump out with SWAT team. They don't know what's going on, because they steady watching TV, and this is what they tell you on TV. This is what it is. But this light beamed itself for a minute. The spaceship circled around, and it left some type of radiational circle right there where their house was at, and left.
Okay.
So.
But it didn't actually abduct anyone or beam anyone up. It just kind of shined the light, left a little radiation right there.
Left a little radiation sign, a symbol, like a crop circle, and it took off. Welcome everybody out there. We're back at the Out There Show. Today we're going to check out a couple of videos and see if we agree with the video or we don't agree with the video that it's a UFO or USO.
For sure. Let's take a look at these videos and see what's been going on recently as far as sightings go, right?
Yeah, let's check it out.
So we have this first one, UFO sighting in California near the Travis Air Force Base. This is from June 21st, 2020.
Okay.
Let's see what they're saying here.
All right. Play the video.
So it looks to me like some kind of fireball kind of streaking down.
It looked like it could be a shooting star, or probably like a meteor or some type.
Yeah, it looks to me like it definitely could be a meteor. This doesn't really say UFOs. I mean, it's UFOs and it's unidentified, but it doesn't say like alien spacecraft to me. This looks like something
But it's
streaking
falling
into our atmosphere.
down. But is it falling or is it staying in the same place? That's what I want to know. If it's staying in the same place, then that's something different. But if it's falling down, then, you know what I'm saying, that would mean something totally different.
You know, it could be falling from so far up that, you know, it's just taking a while to look like it's moving.
Do you think that's a solar flare of the sun peeking through our atmosphere, of one of our holes in our atmosphere?
I mean, it definitely to me looks like fire, but, you know, it's hard to say.
It is hard to say in this video right here. I don't see it moving side to side, zooming off, you know what I'm saying?
Just standing there falling down.
I just see it standing in one place. It's not even falling down, it's just sitting there. It's just standing there in one place. So that's some type of UFO, some type of anomaly, man, that we need to check out.
Yeah, I definitely feel like it can be written off though as a comet.
Yeah.
Some form of meteor.
But it's not falling, so you know, you took the camera off for a minute.
If you say if it's really far away though, it could actually be falling. It's just it's gonna take you a while to see it actually.
Like at a slow rate, you think?
Yeah, it's gonna seem really slow.
All right.
You know, but you never know.
At any rate,
We have to watch it for
it was
like
a
10
good
minutes
video.
to see if it moves.
It was a good video because it was right over our house, so it didn't look like no
very
effect
clear.
was
They
on
zoomed
it.
in. I do think they saw something there for sure.
Out of that video, do you think that was a real video, Jay? Or you think that was a video that they could have doctored up?
I think I'll speculate that it was a real video because if you're gonna doctor something, you might have made it do more than that. Because that just looked like you said, a frozen comet frozen in there.
Exactly.
Or it could have been some kind of light flare, like you said, some form of reflection or a light flare off of a weird shaped cloud. Who knows, right?
Yeah, who knows?
For sure.
But whatever it was unidentified.
It was definitely unidentified, and it was out there.
And it was a flying object because it was out there sitting in the sky.
So the next one we have is a series of lights that were spotted in the sky in Houston, Texas. And this was also 2020.
So now this is kind of different than the other one because it looks like these lights are kind of like flickering on and off, like they have a pulsating liveness to them. As you can see them, they're dark and they're lighter at times.
And
look at the end. Look at the end one.
there.
It's dark and lighter at times. As you can
I
see
do
it.
see that. It's definitely some more motion going on here.
And it's in a tight figuration.
They're moving. Can you
That's
tell?
what the
Looks like
thing.
They seem to be like that configuration seems to be moving a little bit.
Yes, it seems to be moving a little bit, not staying in the same place.
One got real bright right there.
And one disappeared. Look,
Look at
it's
that.
only 3 now. It was 4.
So could that be airplanes flying in the configuration? Because all we see is lights
No,
at night.
because look, all of them disappeared. Now it's only one
What if
left.
they turn their lights off?
No, I don't think so. Because I didn't think they would just turn their lights off
'Cause
in a
they
formation
didn't
like that in
move-
the sky.
They didn't move.
I think that'd be
super
very
strange.
dangerous if they
Yeah.
did, you know.
They didn't move super strange.
No,
It
they didn't.
seemed like they could have been just some things flying in formation, possibly.
What is this thing over here? This third one from the top, right there. What is that right there? I'm gonna check.
That's actually the SpaceX rocket. So no,
Okay.
it's not unidentified.
Oh,
They've
okay.
got that one.
That was identified.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
So the next one we have is an unidentified object floating over Japan.
Okay.
And
Let's check
this
out.
was 2020 as well. So
Okay, so this is something new. I see the moon in the background, so it looks kind of authentic. Let me see the shape of it though. Does it
to
look
me,
like
this
a
one looks
UFO?
like could have been a weather balloon. That looks like a balloon.
Yeah, it has
Maybe a
something if you
satellite
look
or
at it
something
real
dangling
close.
below it. But that doesn't seem too high tech. And it doesn't seem to be doing anything special. It's just sitting there.
You know what I think that is? I think that's some type of person's high powered drone or something, because had some type of
Like
mechanism
GoPro
on the
or
bottom of
something.
it. It wasn't just all the way globe like a UFO would
Yeah.
be. It had
There's
some type
something
of
dangling.
mechanism on it.
Yeah, that didn't.
It didn't sit right with me. I didn't believe that one. That could have been
That
doctored.
wasn't great.
That could have been
So all right,
doctored.
so here we have footage that's been released by the Pentagon of
Okay.
unidentified flying objects. This footage was taken by Navy pilots, where they
What?
actually chased and followed these objects.
Okay.
And reportedly by these Navy pilots, these objects were going faster than their jets could go, making turns their jets couldn't make. And there's even reports, and I don't know if it's shown here in footage, but that these objects could submerge underwater as well and then come back out and still be making all these turns and all
Oh
this.
wow.
And so these are objects that they say are shaped somewhat like a tic tac
So unidentified submersible objects
as well. So these are dead, but they mostly are flying.
mostly.
So we'll put it in the UFO, but yeah, USO as well. But
Right.
this is supposedly a credible source. It's footage released from actual military pilots, Navy pilots, their cameras on their planes, their flight cams. So here's what we're gonna see.
Okay.
So unless this has been doctored by the Pentagon, this isn't doctored footage. So.
Exactly. Let's check it out. I see that's some type of radar. I see that.
So right now they have it in heat mode.
I see that they're in a jet flying over clouds because the clouds are moving.
Mm-hmm.
I see that they have a lock on it.
They definitely have a lock on it.
And it's going side to side. It turned all the way left.
So
In this
there's
picture,
a-
then it took off real fast. It took off so
See
fast,
it moving?
you barely can see it in the camera now. They had to move the camera just to catch up with the view of it. Wow.
So they got it back locked.
So they're tracking
see
it
how
at
that-
200 miles an hour, going faster than. Wow, this is. I don't know how fast that is going now. I think it went off the tracking speed. Oh wow, that is a fast object. Whatever that is, or whoever technology that is, you know what I'm saying, it sure ain't, from this planet, because we don't build anything that goes that fast. Or at least we don't know about anything that goes that fast. Or the government has not let us know that they have objects that go this fast.
Right.
But
And,
I don't think they would let us know about an object that they couldn't catch or they couldn't trace. Or that was faster than the objects that they were chasing it
Well,
with.
this is footage that was declassified. This is older footage, but it's just recently been declassified for us to look at.
You think, do you think that
Here's
was
some
good
more.
footage?
Here's some more footage from that same.
Do you think this is good footage? Like, you know what I'm saying? You think that's a UFO?
I think this is legitimate footage. I think that's actually an object doing whatever they're saying it's doing. The fact that it's being followed by Navy pilots, I mean, this could literally be one of their early tests for some technology they have. Or it could be a UFO, right? You don't know, but it's something. I don't think this is fake footage. I think that thing is doing whatever they're saying it's doing.
I think they said, when he said it's rotating, right, in the footage, and I can actually see the object rotate. So most in objects, you know what I'm saying, if UFOs and different things like that, I think
It's amazing.
when it's rotating,
whatever that thing is
changing.
hauling ass. That thing is amazing. For sure. I don't know what that is.
It's going
That's
so
crazy.
fast. Wow, I don't know how fast it's going, but it can fly. You know what I'm saying? We need that type of technology.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. If we don't have it, we need it.
Exactly. If we don't have it, we need it because it really looks.
They can't
you know
even
what
get
I'm
a
saying,
clear.
that's about it.
It's almost like it's distorting the air around it.
almost-
Like they can't get a clear visual on it.
Yeah,
like they
it's-
can't get a clear resolution.
It's almost like it's cutting space and time as it's flying.
Yeah, it's crazy.
You know?
Now that one was pretty crazy.
Yeah, that was pretty crazy. I have to say.
And so those type of things, when you see that and they actually have footage, you go, okay, that's something there. Either an alien or it's this secret technology, but whatever it is, there's something out there.
And it's not
I
no
agree.
meteor
Something out there, guys.
because it's changed directions. And
Yeah,
I
that was
watched
crazy.
it on the tape, change directions and flip around. So couldn't be no meteor that do that or no
No,
weather
they
balloon.
they were according to them, they were tracking this thing for 40 minutes, something like that.
Yeah.
So it was flying around. It was changing altitude. It wasn't a natural thing at all.
Man.
Yeah.
So as we look into these videos and you check these videos out and I check these videos out, can you give me your observation? Do you really think UFOs and USOs actually exist?
I think that unidentified flying objects and submerged objects do exist. I think there's still a question of whether it's aliens or is it government technology or some form of human technology that's being kept secret. So I think that's still up in question. But yeah, I definitely do think there's something, like, clearly. I'm not gonna sit here and say that I didn't see that thing flying around doing crazy stuff and being chased. They couldn't catch it. They couldn't really get a beat on it.
So I would say, obviously, people, there's something out there. To my people out there, this is the Out There Show. And once again, we're talking about aliens, and yes, they are out there.
Something out there.
Something is out there. We don't know what it is. We can't put our finger on it. We didn't actually see it ourselves with our own two eyes. But as we watching these tapes and these videos, we seeing that there's something out there that's faster than us. Probably got a better force field than us. We can't catch it. It goes in and out of our cameras quicker than we can see it. And if we didn't have the radiation and capability that we have, we couldn't keep up with it. You know what I'm saying?
Something definitely out there, guys, and it definitely has abilities that our current science doesn't acknowledge is capable. So stay tuned. We're gonna keep looking at these things.
So if anything else is out there, or if y'all ever seen a sighting, or if y'all know somebody else that haven't seen a sighting, or y'all know any stories or any videos y'all want us to check out, please put it in the comment section so we can check it out later and so we can be part of any and everything that's out there. We're your hosts on the Out There Show. I'm Ra.
I'm Jay.
So, are you ready to go out there